Okay, if I am here.
Okay, no props. All right, so just to recap, the last 2 weeks we've done your why and your what. And so today we're going to move on to how. All right. So day 3 says, let's get down to business. So the biggest problem that most people have is that when you're having a business, can you balance yourself between being a good business owner and a bad business owner, and doing the right thing for your business and doing the wrong thing for the business? And so it does tend to be, I don't know, it's balancing act of knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, type of thing. And like we spoke about last week, is about being able to be flexible and move with what your business needs to move forward. Okay, so I spoke about the last 2 weeks as well, is that I was trying to emulate some of the leaders that were, you know, like Elise Chedevi and Haley Hobson and who else? Xenix, you know, they're really top leaders in doTERRA, Betsy Holmes. And what I didn't realize is that, yes, they're really great leaders, but they're leaders in their own right. And they're doing it, you know, authentically with their way. And what I need to figure out is, what is my way? What is the way that I've been made to be? And that's where the strengths come in. That if you realize what your strengths are, so if you haven't done the personality test or you haven't done the strengths test yet, just go and do it. It's really amazing. But it gets frustrating when you're working outside of your strengths. And people realize that you're working from a place of desperation or a place of frustration, instead of a place of, you know, passion and, you know, excitement, and being there in your business for them. Okay, and then it just seems like whatever you're doing is futile. You're hitting brick walls or you're hitting ceilings, and you're not making any headway. And I've reached that a few times where I'm thinking, jeepers, you know, I'm comparing myself to other people and I'm not reaching the goals that I'm setting for myself. Or maybe I'm just not, you know, I'm too hard on myself. And there's something that Xenix said in convention this year, is celebrating the wins. And that's something I've failed to do for myself, is I don't celebrate. And I mean, we should be celebrating the small wins even. If you are able to pick up the phone and make a phone call to somebody that you weren't able to speak to before, or you felt intimidated by their success, you know, that's a win. For me, I couldn't celebrate rank advancements, and I couldn't celebrate reaching a goal that I'd set for myself, or even enrolling somebody new. For me, the celebrating of the wins, just there was always just like there's more, you know. But I have to get to this point, and I was extremely hard on myself, and I'm finding it really hard to be in a space that says, okay, yes, thank you, it's great, I've won, you know, or we've done something good, or great stuff, you know, that somebody has experienced the oils in such an awesome way. I really battled to get to that point, but I'm getting there. All right, but we need to be patient with ourselves and not get impatient with our personality. You know, our personalities are unique. We are so beautifully and wonderfully made that when we bring our true personality to the table, that's when everybody wins. You know, you win in your business. People who come into contact with you win. Your family members win, because they're getting the best of you, not like the bottom of the bucket type of thing. And that's something that I love to say. My friend Michelle always says, one thing you've ever taught me is don't pour from an empty cup. You know, pour from a full cup. All right, so I started to see negative talk towards myself, that, you know, like maybe this isn't for me, when I was doing stuff that that wasn't playing towards my strengths. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should be doing something else. Is this the right place? Is this the right type of business for me? And, even like almost like that imposter syndrome that people talk about, like you're not actually supposed to be here. You're not actually supposed to be successful in this business or any business. And so that, that negative talk is quite debilitating. It makes, for me, I actually just stop everything. I don't, I go into like a hole and I don't come out. I'm not the type of person to actually confront that kind of feeling within myself, because it just made me just stop everything, almost like the tortoise that goes in its shell. But it is debilitating, and we shouldn't allow these things to debilitate us. We should actually look at the issue and maybe all the negative talk and stuff and go, yes, but what can I learn from this? What can I move forward using this? Because if it stops you, then you're not growing. If you're able to move forward or move past it, then you're growing, and then you can help somebody else who tends to have the same issue. So I attended some training with Betsy Holmes in Cape Town last year, May, and it was on a whim. I just said to hubby, I need to go. I need to do this. Betsy's going to be there for the weekend. I need to be there. And like I said, on a whim, I got into an airplane and off I went to Cape Town. And it was phenomenal. It was pivotal for me. It helped me so much. I learned a valuable lesson there. Success does not come from something you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. And so, drawing your ideas or inspiration from other leaders is really great, but if you're not doing something for yourself consistently and being there for you consistently, being there for your business consistently, being there for your leaders consistently or your customers consistently, then you're not winning at all, ever. Okay, so you can't do it occasionally. You have to be consistent about everything that you're doing. And then there's some leaders who talk about income producing activities. And if you want to know more about that, then just shout. I can help you out with that. But if you're doing these things consistently, staying away from the social media and the negative talk and getting past your own negative thoughts, then you'll be able to be successful. And not in the sense that, when the world looks at successful stuff, they think about, a big ticket item or a big ticket pay. Successful means being authentically you and thriving. For me, I so love doing what I'm doing now is teaching, and imparting knowledge and handing over the stuff that I've learned for others to know. I absolutely love it. So if I'm not operating in that, I'm not thriving. If I'm not showing somebody how to do something, then I'm not thriving. And even though I'm not a really great person at follow through, something that I need to work on, I love doing this. It's really, and that's when I feel successful. All right. So lesson 1. So you can do doTERRA part-time and you can do doTERRA full-time, but you can't do doTERRA sometimes. And that's something Justin Harrison says. Okay, so if you decide that you want to do a business part-time, then set the goal. I'm going to do this part-time. Or if you say, I'm going to do this full-time, then set your goal and do it full-time. But don't say, I'm going to do it sometimes. If you're going to be consistent, you're going to see the rewards. If you're just going to be, haphazardly, throwing things out there, it's not going to be consistent, and it's not going to bring you any kind of satisfaction in the work that you're doing. So if you decide, okay, I'm going to do 3 to 5 hours a week, or I'm going to do 10 to 15 hours a week, or I'm going to do 15 to 30 hours a week, that is something that you need to decide what's going to work for you. So it has to be one of my favorite quotes. You can't do this sporadically or in fits and starts and without any planning. So it's like almost like an accidental enrollment that you're getting, or an accidental customer. You have to be, or even being impulsive about it, is you have to be intentional. You have to go, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this A, B, and C, and then, you know, at the end of the day, you'll see a result equals D, you know. So you can't be also saying, okay, well, I'm going to have a class today and invite everybody today, but then no one rocks up because you haven't given them time to prepare, because they need to plan their lives. How can you expect that they just drop everything and attend a class today? So, you know, that's something that I have done before, and then nobody rocks up and then I get despondent. It's something that you need to plan up ahead of time. Plan it a month ahead. Say, I'm having these classes, and on those days, maybe 3 or 4 classes on the next month. These are the dates. Please choose one and come and join me. Or if you want to invite somebody to come in and do a class with me, then, you know, set it up ahead of time. It's not going to help if you're just going to say, okay, well, in 10 minutes time, I'm going to do a class. You know, with this series, I planned it up ahead of time, and I've said, this is what we're doing every week on a Friday. If you can join. If you can't, that's okay. But that's something that I've set on my schedule. On my schedule, I also set up, and we'll cover that now, but I've also set up time to spend with my upline so that I can get some strategy ideas and have a chat and get a different perspective, because sometimes you have a perspective on an idea or something, and you know, somebody else has got a totally different idea or perspective that could help you. And it's not to say that you have to follow what everybody else says or what your upline tells you. You know, it's helpful because they've been in your position before. They've been where you are. All right, so I decided that I wasn't going to be haphazard. I wasn't going to be you know, throwing darts with a blindfold on, and, you know, maybe I'll hit something. I decided to set aside, I think it was 30 to 45 minutes a day. And then it increased because then I had more time, because my children are getting older and I don't have to homeschool so much, you know, one-on-one. And so it worked out to be about 2 to 3 hours a week in the beginning. But then I've increased that. I only did a class like every 2 to 3 weeks, or even once a month. But now I do it like at least once a week. And because I've learned, you know, spend time learning and preparing slowly, you know, I've had some people enrolling, which is great. And I've been able to build the team, which is really awesome. I'm super excited that our team has grown so much, and my leaders have grown so much. All right, so these days I dedicate at least 5 hours a day for my business. Probably more than that, because of the fact that I love it so much. But you know, I love learning about the oils. I love learning about the business. I love spending time with other people who talk about oils. And no, I've not joined a cult, as some people might think. I just love what I do. Okay. And right, so you can break up the amount of time that you're spending on your business into certain sections. So I'm going to read it off the list. All right, so you can learn about your favorite oils, learning about business strategies, learning about the back office. So the back office does take a bit of time to learn and get used to. And as a wellness advocate, your back office looks different to a customer. Focusing on your personal development. So that is reading books that will personally grow you, or you know, doing a summit, listening to podcasts, anything like that, planning and hosting classes, connecting with people one-on-one, following up on interested people who, you know, show an interest in the oils. watching some co-impact sourcing videos. Those are awesome. Please have tissues when you do that, because they are very emotionally charged. I get emotional every time I watch them. They are just so beautiful and so inspiring. I love being part of this bigger picture, that doTERRA is not just about the business. They're not just about the money. And yes, it is a business, but they're about empowering people, empowering the farmers, empowering the communities where the farmers work, and, building schools and bridges, and, helping families to get up out of the poverty that that they're in. So yes, definitely have tissues. So, and then finding your favorite social media educators on podcast, or, on Facebook, on Instagram. Andrew Donovan has got great business strategies. Lisa Zimmer, she's very good at organizing and, tips and everything like that. Other leaders would be, now I've gone blank. Dr. Marisa Snyder. I love her teaching. She teaches all about hormones. Dr. Danielle Daniels, she is phenomenal about her brain talks and her brain training. She's all about the psychological stuff. Dr. Hill, who's one of our founders. There's Dr. Rourke, she's a vet. Then there's Zia Nix, Betsy Holmes, who else? I mentioned a few. Just go and find someone who really, resonates with you, and that you feel like has the same kind of heart as you. And I've found a few, and there's some really awesome people out there that just, absolutely, get me, and I feel like they're part of my tribe, even though they're sitting in America or something. Okay, so you kind of block the time. Okay, so what I did is spread out the day of where I do have time. So make a schedule for yourself, like, block it out Monday to Sunday, and then show what you're busy doing, and then say, okay, well, I've got 15 minutes here, or I've got 30 minutes here, or I've got maybe an hour here, and block out the time for yourself. Now, I haven't done that in a very long time, because of the fact that I've set my weekly schedule and I know what I'm doing. The little gaps, I try and grab other things that are going on. But it is a very good idea and I'm going to redo it, is to get it all blocked out, so that you can see, even color coded if you have to, so that you can see the different times that you're going to be doing different things, and take time to do one of those things, at least all of them during the week. That you don't have to do all of them in one day. Is that once a week, I'm going to learn about my favorite oil. Once a week, I'm going to learn about a business strategy. There's podcasts that are doTERRA Solutions and Empowered Success stories, and they're really brilliant. And then I set a timer on my phone, and I turn the phone over so that I don't look at it and I don't get bothered by the messages, and I even turn off the vibration. So my husband gets very irritated with me, because I said, this is my time to concentrate. I'm going to turn over the phone. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not going to answer any WhatsApps that are coming through, or phone calls. I'm going to block off this time to do what I need to do. And if I don't do that, I'm distracted. If I have tabs open on my computer, I'm distracted. If the phone's facing me and I see these messages flashing, or the phone calls coming through, it's distracting, and then I don't get the stuff done that I need to do. All right, so afterwards, I'll check it, and it takes me literally 2 minutes, and I'll be able to check all the messages, everything that's coming through, all the emails, and then go on to the next task. And then I try and also take time to move around. So if I go out into the garden, or I go for my walk on the beach, or something like that, so that it clears my mind, that I'm not 24/7 thinking about oils. Now, when people compliment you on your oil knowledge, you can honestly say that you learn something new every day, because you're taking the time to block out 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour or longer. But you're setting aside that time to go over the chemical constituents of an oil, or learning about the emotional properties of oils, or going and checking out the pets Facebook site and what oils are good for pets. Because you're taking the time to be intentional about your learning, you're personally growing in your knowledge of the oils, you're personally growing in setting boundaries for yourself and being scheduled, taking the time to do what needs to be done. All right, so this is your task for this week. If you haven't done it already, and I'm going to redo it, so I'll post it again in the group. Decide how many hours you're going to be spending and focusing your attention on your doTERRA business or on sharing doTERRA with other people. How much time you're going to spend looking at different oils or talking about oils, because then you can also take the rest of the time to be balanced, to spend time with the family, to go on your walks, to do your gardening, or chill, paint. I like to paint in my spare time. I haven't done it in a while. I've been focused on the BOGOs and everything else. But you need to focus on which 3 aspects you haven't done before, okay, which you'd like to focus on during these hours. So choose 3 from the list. I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. Choose 3, and then decide how much time you're going to allocate to it, and then go do it. All right. So that was lesson 1. And lesson 2 is a recipe for success. Okay. So I love baking. And when I get a recipe that works, in my little handmade recipe book that my friend's mom gave me as a wedding gift, it gets written down there in handwriting. And that's now my favorite recipe book. Okay. It's the only one that gets used so much in the house. I've taken time to add the recipes that I like, or recipes that we use often inside the book. Okay, then we can add some fancy touches afterwards for special occasions, or if I don't have an ingredient, I can swap it out. And all the recipes that I use go in there. Okay, but this is the reason why. This is what doTERRA has done for us. They've given us a duplicated recipe. You can duplicate what they do, okay, and we can decorate it as lavishly or as plainly or simply as we like. It's called the pipe system, okay? So we can say, okay, well, 4 steps, share, enroll, support. Wait, share, invite, enroll, support, okay? But the PIPES says prepare, invite, present, enroll, support, PIPES, okay? That way you can practice your PIPES. You're always going to be an individual. You're always going to be you, because, what we spoke about last week is being authentic to you. But you can take this recipe, because it's been proven by all the successful doTERRA leaders that it works, okay, and make it your own, all right? We're going to do PIPES a little bit more next week, but I'd like you to go and follow the YouTube link that I'm going to put in the Facebook group and go watch how Andrew Donovan talks about the PIPE system. He explains it really clearly, how it works, okay? And then pop onto the group and share your first subject you want to dedicate your studying to and why, how you're feeling about leading your own business, number 2, okay, and number 3, where you need most support and encouragement, so that we as a team can help you, right? And remember, we want to create a sense of community and encourage each other, so go and comment on each other's posts, and let's just try and grow everybody. Okay, right, so that's done for today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm going to stop recording. Have a great, blessed weekend.